Hey, welcome to the Wise Owl. In this video, I will be showing you the complete process of creating a chorus, and we start right now. I will sing to you the simple idea that I've recorded when I woke up this morning. Go easy on me as I'm not a professional singer. Go on and meet me halfway. Only this time I want you to stay. Before we move on, if this is your first time here and you want to learn interesting song facts, discover music industry secrets, discuss the future of music and be inspired by songwriting ideas, please subscribe and hit the bell button not to miss anything. My very first step was to record the idea. Now I need to handle my emotions in regards to it. As I mentioned in the first episode of the songwriting module, people tend to be their worst critics. So I need to say to myself, do not criticize this idea. So now my next step, as detailed in episode 2, is to identify the key of my idea. In order to do that, I first need to understand which note I was singing. And now the hard work begins. I will grab my guitar and maybe the keyboards, and for now I will not bother about the rhythm. I just want to understand the pitch of each note. One thing to remember at this stage, I need to make sure that I tune my guitar. I will play the recording few times and identify the notes one by one. So let me play the note C on my guitar and compare with the first note of the recording. Okay, so the first note is definitely D. The next notes are a repeated D, then we have a C, B flat, then a C that continues in the second bar, and so on. I want to mention that this method becomes old. We already started to have note recognizer apps that aim to instantly recognize the pitch, and they will become even more accurate in the next years. The good thing is that they could save you some time. The bad is that by using them you don't develop your oral skills. Transcribing what you sing is one of the best methods to practice ear training. Great, so now that I have identified the melody notes, I would like now to identify the key. Let's list again the diatonic notes of all keys. You can find them in episode 2 as well. Basically, the note B flat takes out all the keys with sharps. And as well, the A natural takes out many of the flat keys. So the melody notes A, B flat, C, and D could either be in the key of F major or B flat major, or their relative minor keys. Let's notice where the melody should end. So if I replay the final bar, it's actually the note G. So we are in the key of G minor. We can actually cross-check that. The distance from the root note to the third note, aka from G to B flat, is indeed a minor third. I am happy with this key as it is not too complex for the purpose of this video, but I need now to take into account the other important aspect, my bandmate vocal range, and to consider transposing the melody, similarly like in episode 3 of the songwriting module. However, I can just go up an octave and keep the same key. Singing the long high D would put the singer in a good light. Next, I will follow episode 4 and I'll be tapping the clapping of my hands on my metronome app, and I use an Android app called Metronome Beats that have this feature, so now tapping the tempo I obtain about 72 BPM. Let me write down this tempo. As well, notice from the number of beats that my time signature is 4/4. Let's save this as well. Now with the help of the metronome, I need to figure out the rhythm, so I will spend time, again the hard work, on the recording versus the metronome to understand how long each note is. Notice how the first two notes fall on the beat. Then we have something short, a 16. Then a couple of 8s as they split the beat in two. The last bar note goes into the next bar. The rest of the melody is similar. Now I can put the entire melody in the standard music stuff. Great. However, if you don't know how to write in the standard music notation, then let's follow the guidelines in episode 4 and instead input how long each note is in comparison with the others, so let me input that on the screen. Before going on to the next steps, I want to cross-check the accuracy, and I will input the notes into Ensemble Composer phone or MuseScore PC. And after that, I will play it on the app to see if it's the same with what I sang. Another thing that I mentioned in the module is to play with the tempo. I would like my melody to be a bit faster. Let me change the tempo from 72 BPM and try now 80 BPM. That's good, I'm leaving it at this tempo. Since the melody is in a minor key, we will skip episode 5 and use the knowledge in episode 6 to harmonize it. But before doing that, we already know that the melody should end on G. So let us first create another 4 bars and obtain a full chorus. As learned in episode 7, we can use exact repetition of the first 2 lyrics, which is great for a chorus. We repeat both the melody and the lyrics. As well, we will repeat the next bars, only this time we will end our melody on the note G. So now we have the A-bar chorus that sounds like this. To harmonize it as mentioned in episode 6, we need to know 2 key things: the corresponding chords in G minor and their chord tones. Before moving on, please make sure that you check my chords video from the first steps playlist to learn which chord tones create a specific chord. Of course that there are many options for creating the harmony, but this set of chords is the safest way to harmonize the melody, and it would do just fine for the purpose of this video. I decided that I want a chord change once per bar, as usually on beat 1. We harmonize a melody based on the longest notes, and if the rest of the melody in the bar is not crashing with the notes of that chord. I like to start a chorus with the root chord, and since we have a repeated D, which is a chord tone of G minor, and a couple of B flat and C, we can successfully do that. The next important note is C, and I can use one of the chords that contain the C chord tone: C minor, A half diminished, or F major. Let's try them one by one. I like F major the best. For the next bar, I see 2 notes of big importance, C and D. As well, the final bar note A would be good to be in the chosen chord. So our best option is a D7 chord, and it could be either D minor or a D major chord. Finally, since we land on B flat and in the last bar on G, we can finish on a G minor chord. Let's hear now the 2 alternative options with D minor 7 and then D7 in the 3rd and 7th bar. Looking at the harmony, I see that the G minor chord is repeating a lot, and for more variation, I can select a different chord in the 4th bar. The chord tone is B flat, so I can actually use the B flat chord. As well, for more variation, I can leave D minor 7 in the first set of bars, then I can end the chorus on a D7 to G minor cadence. This chord progression would as well represent a great ending of the song. Let's hear the final version of the melody and harmony. Now we've got on our hands a demo that we can present to bandmates or producers. All the basic elements are present: key, tempo, time signature, melody, lyrics, and harmony. Well done. Normally with all these elements I would present the idea to my band, and my colleagues will add their parts, drums, bass, and so on, and they will input some ideas for the other song sections. However, for the purpose of this video, let's continue the process and add some drum beats to the song. We covered a couple of basic drum patterns for different music styles in lesson 8. I will choose this drum pattern, plus a transition on the snare drum. I will add the bass and change the piano rhythm as well. Let's hear the final version of the song. Now we can celebrate. We completed our chorus and made it sound great. Cool. Please send your suggestion in the comments. Would you harmonize the melody in a different way? How would you further improve this demo? Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe and check out my channel to understand music like never before. The Wise Owl salutes you.